So we're going to continue with the second part of this tutorial as we go through the customization of the menus. Um, Now here what we see is the default pages that were created. So if we actually click on the About page contact, we can see that there are some of the pages that were set up by default. Now we're going to take a look at where those pages come from. We're going to recognize that, and then we're going to come back and worry about the menus, just because there's got to be some things that we're going to do first. We're going to take a look at the content options. This is just talking about when we go into the blog, how do they display? Notice that it has the date, the creator, and here's where it says display date. That's what it's referring to. Display categories. So this is once we go to a single post, that means the full page. Then you can kind of see that it says published by, and then you can leave comments. And then the previous post, featured content. So as we start assigning categories to the post, you will see that appear with it, whether it's maybe UX design, Weebly, etc. And then here's the feature images. It says to display on the blog and archives. Well, excuse me. The archive of the blog is actually the previous page that we're looking at. So it's kind of like the home page for the blog, where you see the thumbnail, the title, a snippet, and then once you click on one, you see the full content, which there's not a lot here, but if you had a lot of copy, you will notice the difference. So so that's what that is. So I'm going to go back and kind of take a look at where we were. I'm going to open this up a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and go to, customize. I'm going to customize a couple more things. So the next option here is called widgets. Now widgets are pieces or sections of your website that you can customize with what is called a widget. So for example, right now, this is the sidebar widget, which is related more to pages that actually have a sidebar, such as here. So you can see that when I'm in the blog page, I would see search, and that's what I'm seeing up here, search. I could see a text widget, and here says this is a text widget, which allows you to add text. So when I open this side, you can see that there. Now you can decide to have sections or remove them. So if I don't want to see this anymore, I could just remove it. And then you can see here. Now, the moment I save and publish, that will not appear anymore because I'm deleting it. But since I don't want to do that, I'm just kind of browsing through the sections. I can see here there's different type of footers. So we can see that there's footer 1, 2, and 3. Now these footers are actually not active right now. They don't have any content. But if I was to create something here, notice footer 1, I'm going to add a widget. And I can say that here on the bottom, I want to start seeing maybe my contact info and map. And then here I can put in my hours, address. I could even put a map. That's what that Google Maps API is. So you would follow the documentation here, and you can easily add some stuff. So see here by default, now this is another footer, and all I did was I went to widgets, and I was able to add this information here on the bottom. And you can obviously override information here. So if I went to footer 2, now I could also have something else there. So I could do a category. I can put a calendar if I had some events going on. I can put in some archives of, some previous posts. So maybe I can call it previous post. And then I would see, what happened in October. Since I don't have a lot of stuff, obviously, it's not. But you can put in here, for example, how many articles are, display as a drop-down menu. So these are all different functionality that is created with WordPress right off the bat. And then I could even put in a Facebook page plugin. So I could actually connect my visitors to Facebook. I can put in a follow the blog or follow us on WordPress.com, or even put in a small gallery of pictures. So, you can choose some images. So I insert a gallery, and then you can kind of see those pictures there. So that would be adding additional footers on the bottom. Now I do not have anything like that here except for my contact information, but I'm not going to put it as a footer because I don't need to see it in multiple pages as I only have one. So, but that is sort of how you would add stuff, or if you don't want to see it anymore, you remove it. Now, if you don't want to save the changes, and you can always refresh the page. Oh, actually, it did already auto save because they were widgets. So I'm going to have to go in and just delete it. Not a big deal. I open this here. I remove it. Go to footer 2. Remove it. And open this here. Remove it. Save it and publish. And there we are. Okay, great. So now we can go back to taking a look at the static front page. Now that's the only page that I really want to use here. So that's my home page, and that's fine. I'm going to work through that one. And here's the featured content. So here is more for when you're utilizing this as the home page as a blog post. You can select which post you want to see first, and there should be a category called featured, and that's where you would see that. Now here's where I can select what my front page would be for the testimonials. So we got the about, the contact, the page here. Or you can also randomize the testimonials on there. And here's an example of some of the testimonials. Okay, so that's sort of the customization that's very simple and easy to use from here. Now I'm going to go back to edit here. And this allows me to edit this text. What I like to do as well is to have my website open here somewhere, so then I can kind of look at both pages at the same time. So okay, so see here I have my title, my description, my social media icons, my menu, a featured content here, the home page. And notice that aside from those additional areas that were added, I don't have a lot of copy. I only have this section here. Now, when you're looking at it and you're logged in, notice that this edit button does not mean that the user will see it. This is just because you're in the admin mode and you're logged into WordPress.com. You can go ahead and hit that to edit, and that will take you right to the back of here. So, for example, here, if you wanted to copy the information from the previous assignment, we can go to the assignment previously, which I'm going to be posting the same thing for your WordPress.com. And we're going to go to the assignment. So we have the class overview. So if I want to edit that section, I would call it here, class overview. And see, here's where this comes in handy. So now that's actually pulling the name of the website or web page, really. And that's why it says home. So that's the actual URL, notice. But I can actually change this to say class overview. So that way it starts off right away with that. But I will keep home the same. That way I know that that's the home page. So the thing that you'll have to notice sometimes, at least you pasted it into the HTML format, it is going to try to recognize some previous formatting. That's why it kind of broke the text this way. So the visual mode is pretty simple. It's pretty much like Microsoft Word, where if you want to highlight a section, make that bold, you can go ahead and do that. You want to make it italic, you can do that. You can want to make it into a quote. It will pick up whatever default settings for a quote is in this template, and it will use that. This is your spell checking. And then you can change the styles of certain sections. So like, for example, this is the paragraph format, but I can turn it into a heading 2, or I can make it a heading 3. So for example, maybe this is the most important section of this copy. So I can make that a secondary. That's my headline 1, and this is my headline 2. And then I'm going to finish cleaning up this copy. And now if you wanted to do a little bit of HTML, you would just switch to the HTML mode. And notice that now I can see that H3, which this might be kind of similar to what you were looking at last time with the A tag. And this is where you would do that in the HTML. So now that I'm done with that section, I'm going to go ahead and hit update. And that is your save by hitting update. So notice that now this has been updated. So that looks great. And maybe I can get rid of an extra space there. So I can go ahead and I'm going to refresh this page as well. So now I can see that both of them are the same. I'm going to hit edit. And I can get rid of that empty space. Update it. Okay, that's better. So then the next section that I'm looking at is I have the class overview. I have some copy. Then I want to get into topics. So maybe I'll replace this here with topics. So the way I would do that is I can go and edit the page. So I go and hit edit. I make this a little bigger. Okay, so that is actually the copy. Oh, I do remember that this was actually part of the home page. So I'm going to have to go back to the customize section for this. So I'm going to go back one step, go to customize, and then we're going to take a look at static front page. So we have the class overview, which is right here. And then we need to change that section. And that was we had it under, theme options, we have about. So this is, and then contact and page. So this is actually, the way they set this up right now is an actual page. So if I click on about, it will take me to a full page with just the about. Now, because I want to do a single page and I really don't want to do multiple pages, I'm actually going to get rid of this section altogether. And I'm going to select none and save and publish. So now when I go to the home page, which is my class overview, right there, I'm not seeing that section anymore. So that's how you can get rid of that section there. Also with the testimonials, if I didn't want to get rid of the if I didn't want to see the testimonials, I would just go here and delete that section. But we're not there yet. So I want to continue here looking down at what I need to add on my wireframes. And then I'm going to see topics here. So we're going to go to the page here itself. And we're going to edit some text. And then below this, I can go ahead and say add, and then I can say media. So now I can select a couple images. Let's pick a couple different ones. I think we had 6, so there we go. So now here it tells me how do I want to see this? As a title mosaic, as thumbnail grid, which that's kind of what I had on my wireframe. And then you can select the size that you want for the images. So I'm going to do medium. And let's check a couple more options to show you. The square titles is a little bit nicer because it has less space. And then we're going to go to edit so we can add the caption. So here we would say we have social media. Again, not that these images are very relevant to the topic, but just to give you a demo. Weebly, whoops. WordPress. If you might be wondering how I'm switching back and forth between the screens, I'm using the Command key and the Tab on the Mac. Okay. Did I miss one? Oh, I put WordPress twice. I'm going to do research and strategy. Okay, so let's take a look. And okay, now here it tells me when somebody is to click. Now here the way this actually template handles the title, when you hover over the image, you see the name. So it's going to be a little different than here. But that's okay because we're not getting into customization too much. So here I would say, which is open a new page with just the image in full screen. Or you can do media file, which just links directly just to the image. And if not, none, when the user clicks on it, nothing will happen. Okay, so I'm going to just keep it as an attachment page. And I'm going to hit insert. Then we can see it now. And I'm going to go ahead and update it. So now you can kind of see when I hover over, I see the name of the image. which that looks pretty cool. And if I was to click on it, it gives me this attachment page with just the image, which looks pretty cool. And what's nice about it, it gives this kind of slideshow. So this is by default how this template is. And we'll get more into changing templates later on as we do the one-on-one conference calls this week.